start. Let me share my screen. Already got your emails up, so let me get back to where I was going. Okay, so first thing I did want to show everybody, we do have a citation management LibGuide. So LibGuide or research guide is just basically a website the librarians have created on all of the different citation managers we have. So I was just going to show you where that lived. If you go on the main library webpage and you scroll all the way down to the bottom, on the left it'll say research guides, which brings you to this nice page. And then we've got the managed citations guide. And I'm actually going to pop that in the chat for everyone right now, if you wanted to go there. So this is going to bring you here. So we've got all the different ones that we have are the ones that there are more than the citation managers. These are the ones that we can support. So here's the Endnote tab. I'm probably going to be updating this a little bit more in the next couple weeks. I've been slowly updating it over the summer. But every time I look at it, I see something new I want to add. But it does have all the updated videos from Endnote directly on how to use Endnote. These two are both the paid desktop version, and they're great because they're like 7 minutes long. They're wonderful. They don't have a really good video on the online version. They have one, but it's like a recorded webinar and it's real long. So I'm most likely going to actually create one because I do use it a lot. So I'm just going to create a video. So basically 7 minutes in Endnote Online. And once I do that, I will put it on this page. And then all of our contact information, so mine's on here too. There's a couple other folks in the libraries who also use Endnote and can help with questions. But again, y'all know who I am now, so feel free to email me directly. And then of course, we do have all the instructions on how to actually get one or the paid version. You can get a slight discount if you buy it through the Vanderbilt software store. Students can also get a discount too. So that is there. All right, so I know y'all said some of y'all are using the desktop version. With the desktop version, you can also use the online version, which I highly recommend having both, because when you have both, the online version honestly acts as your backup. Let's say if something terrible were to happen to your computer, which this has happened to me before, and all of a sudden you have 0 citations, they're gone, or your computer is dead. If you have the online version also and you have them synced together, your citations still live in the cloud, and then you can immediately get your new computer or reinstall your Endnote desktop software and then just pull your citations back in without having to individually go find them all again. Which again, this has happened to me before. I lost all my citations, but thankfully I did have most of them in my online account, so I was just able to pull them right back in. So I highly recommend having both if you do have that desktop version. All right, so just a quick, I'm going to show you how to get that online version, because there's 2 different online versions out there. There's the Endnote Basic, which anybody can get. You don't have to be at Vanderbilt. I'm just talking about anybody who wants it can get it. You, though, want, since we do have Web of Science, which Endnote and Web of Science are owned by the same people, since we have Web of Science, the library is paying for that subscription, we can provide access to the a little fancier, couple extra things in there version of Endnote Online. So I definitely recommend doing that one. So instead of getting just the basic that everybody can have, get the advanced version. So, and the best way to honestly get there, again, we're going to be doing this through, my lens of being over at Eskin. This is the best way I always get there. It's easiest for me. If you're on any of the library pages and you head to that Eskin page, we have Web of Science on one of our main pages. So it's a quick link. Again, I'll send y'all this link too. But if we go right into Web of Science, you only have to create your account this way. And once you create it, then you can just use the direct link. And of course, if you're off campus, or even if you're on campus with all the new cybersecurity stuff we've got in place, you are going to have to log in using Duo Mobile. There's a new Web of Science, and they keep telling me, so I keep getting that message. But Endnote button is located top right in the products. So if you go here, then you can register on this page. So let me send everybody that link really quick. Actually, we'll get there. So yeah, once you are in here, chat. All right, so this is the permalink to Web of Science. That's why it says library and the ERS. So that will work. You can pull up that EndNote page. And once you log in, if you have citations in your Endnote Online, or if you've already got an account, it's going to look like this. If you just start a brand new account, you register for an account. Again, make sure you use your Vanderbilt email. You're going to have like just a lot of white space because you don't have citations in there yet. But as soon as you have citations, that's always going to be the first thing you see, because the default home screen is the entire list of all of your references. And you can see on mine, I've got about 16,000, which is actually about half of what I used to have. I cleaned up a little bit. And I also got a ton that are unfiled, which I'm not really sure where those came from. I probably need to look into that. I do a lot of testing, so I pull in a lot of citations and then I forget to delete them later. But with the nice Endnote Online, so I'll do a quick overview of everything on this, and I'll also show everyone the desktop version just in case you think you might want to use that one. So my Endnote Online, honestly, I use it as a backup system. But you can pull in your citations in here. You can do cite while you write from here. We can edit all your citations from here. But since I have the desktop version, I usually work only on my desktop version because I always have my personal computer with me since it's a laptop. So I'm not like moving from computers a lot. But in here, again, first page, all of our references. If I open up a reference, everything is hyperlinked. So all those titles are going to be hyperlinked. This is going to bring you to your like individual citation reference. So you'll see all the different fields depending on what type of references. Like this one's a journal article, so it's going to have all the normal fields that you'll see from PubMed or Google Scholar, Web of Science, Embase. They're all going to be here. And you can also see that all of these different fields, you can edit them. So let's say, for example, you pulled in a citation and something is weird. Maybe the formatting is off, or maybe the citation just had an error in it that didn't get updated in the database, which does happen sometimes. Usually it's just like maybe the numbers are in the wrong place or the month is spelled wrong. Just, small things that you can quickly fix. So you can go in and, change any of that very easily. The one though I always recommend, the field that I use a lot within the individual citations is going to be this research notes field. It's going to be at the very bottom. And if you're in yours and you don't see that one, you probably at the top of your page probably have it set where it's hiding your empty fields. So you might need to make sure you show them because then they'll pop all open. So research notes, I use this for pretty much everything. This is like this, for example, I wrote background in there because this is telling me that this is an article that I'm going to use for a background on a paper I'm working on. So I use the research notes field as a way to basically tag my citations. So I either tag them with usually 1 to 2 word phrases. So background is really great because then I can immediately search those tags and pull up every article that I've tagged background. Or I'll put in notes for this article I need to title abstract screen. Or we don't own this article, so I'll put in a little note that says request through interlibrary loan. So just notes where I can come back and work on it later. Because the nice thing with Endnote Online, every single page, no matter where you're at, has this quick search top left. So I can type in whatever those tags that I use or phrases I know that I'm putting into stuff, and I can search every article in my citation or in my reference manager. You can also search in individual folders if you wanted to for those certain tags, or they call groups. I'm going to probably say groups and folders interchangeably. They call them groups, but in my mind, they are folders. So that's really what I probably will say. But if I search background, it's going to pull up. There we go. So I have over 4,000 articles that I've tagged with that background word. But that is a good way. If you make sure you know which tags you use, you can quickly pull those up, which I find really useful, especially if I need to, like, all my interlibrary loan ones, I'll pull them all at one time and then request them all at one time. It's just kind of a good workflow that I found that works for me. All right, so that's individual citations, but talking about groups, which are, basically folders. And again, you figure out the system that works for you on creating these groups. There's a couple of different ones I recommend. If I'm working with students, I usually recommend they do a group for each class because they usually have certain articles they're working on for each class. So I'd like just name your folders by the class, and then that way you'll be able to easily find everything. Or if you're working on articles or research, have a folder for each different topic you're working on, which is actually how mine are organized. It doesn't really look like it from this angle, but that's how they are organized. Because the one difference, like the big difference between the desktop version and the online version is with the desktop version, you can have subgroups. So, but that doesn't come across in the web version. So what you're seeing is all my subgroups, but you don't see like the main umbrella groups. So that's why all my subgroups I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I've got 6 that are labeled CINAHL, probably because I have 6 different articles I'm working on where I use that database CINAHL, and that's actually a subgroup. So if you do have both, you might want to kind of work on a really good naming system that you use for everything, a standard one. And I'll actually show you what this looks like in the desktop version. So this is a desktop version. And here you can see on the left all of my big groups. So they call them a group set. And then you'll have your individual groups below each one. But again, the online version is only going to show the groups. It does not show this big group set. And so yeah, mine are organized by topic. So we've got like shoulder arthritis, I've got the surgical type, memory cells, but in each group, I then have each group set, I have my groups, and I organize them by database. Because I found it's easier when I'm writing articles, I use a lot of Prisma diagrams, so I need to be to say at the end, I found 500 articles, 53 of them came from Cochrane. Like, I need that information later. So I organize it this way, so it keeps track of all those numbers for me. And I can quickly just look at my EndNote and scribble my numbers into my Prisma diagram. Because it will also, when you close them up, it tells you how many is in each topic. And also finding full text is really a lot easier if you know which database you originally found it from. So that's another reason I organize by database. But yeah, figure out the system that works for you and just make sure you do that all of the time. It will really make your life easier, promise. All right, so let's go back.